Namaste. So I hope you got some insight reflecting on your own personal relationships. And maybe you became aware of the fact that, life just happens. It doesn't happen to you or because of you. It does not come towards you to punish you. See, if you experience any feeling of emotional unease, it is not caused by life, it's caused by your own mind and its resistance and disagreement with certain circumstances. And that's an important point I want you to understand. I also want you to start observing your mind's thoughts and emotions and your body's needs. I want you to start changing the relationship you have with your own instruments, your body and mind. See, because you want to stop reacting compulsively to everything your mind says or your body demands. I want you to look at this human being from a distance, like with curiosity, but mostly I want you to be able to decide what is happening within you, right? I want you to become totally free and independent from external circumstances and conditions. I want you to decide how you feel. That's freedom, right? What is going on inside of you, no matter what is happening around you, no matter what's happening in life, no matter how other people treat you, you have to be able to decide how you feel. The problem is, as long as we base our identity only on this body and mind, we feel incomplete, right? If we think we are just that, we don't feel enough. We want another person to do what we are not able to do. We want another person to love us unconditionally, to save us from our emotional baggage and to make us happy. We are not free, but our inner well-being depends on others. And obviously that makes us feel powerless and small and, like we have no say about what's happening, how we feel. So let me repeat this concept of spirituality again, because you remember, through repetition, the magic will reveal itself to you. So the problem is that we are wrongly identified with body and mind and think that we are just that. And we experience life within the limitations of body and mind. And we are not able to experience our interconnectedness with all of creation. We see ourselves as a female or a male, and automatically we feel incomplete. We feel like a part of us is missing. But body and mind are part of this nature. And this nature is based on duality and polarities. While you, the soul, consciousness, the energy, the spirit, making a human experience in this body with this mind, you are complete. You're not missing anything. You are complete. You're everything you need. You're perfect. You just forgot who you are. And as a result, you're also convinced that you can create inner well-being, happiness, love, contentment only with external means or through another human being. The voice in your head, your mind, is so loud and talks all the time that you forgot that everything your mind desires is already in you. You forgot that you are a divine being, a soul. You are the intelligence of life, the substratum of life. And your true nature is everything your mind is looking and searching for in the external world. But again, since everything in the external world, in nature, is constantly changing according to conditions and circumstances, no kind of happiness or love that comes from outside is eternal or unconditional or is sustainable forever. And then, let me ask you this. If you are not able to love yourself, your body, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, your past, your life, how can you expect someone else to love you unconditionally? If you are not able to make yourself happy, how are you expecting someone else to do what seems impossible for you? Then we're always looking, for the perfect partner. But But are you perfect? Are we perfect? You want your partner to always satisfy your expectations. But are you able to satisfy someone else's expectations always 100%? And again, since we believe to be just this body and mind, we live with the feelings that something is always missing. We live with the feeling that there's always a void to fill. In the case of relationships, it's probably an emotional void. In the case of life in general, we constantly try to fill a void with material things, with personal successes, special events, with food, with drugs, or something else. But our mind constantly desires something because it feels incomplete. That's the nature of our human mind. It is always looking for something more. And why is that? I don't know, but maybe because deep down we remember that our true existence is limitless and unconditional. But we are somehow trapped in this human experience that is limited by body and mind, by your mind's beliefs and ideas and judgments, and the constant idea that something is missing. And instead then of tapping into our innate source of joy, we are blindly following our mind on its pursuit of happiness in the external world and get exhausted on the way because it's never enough. And once we get what our mind was missing or wanting, we experience just a temporary feeling of joy, of pleasantness, or of ecstasy. But you know that the nature of life is change, and soon this feeling will cease and new desires will come up. And when you start observing your mind, you will notice that it will never be enough if you try to make your mind happy. So there is always a lack of something, and our life evolves around fulfilling our mind's desires. If we manage to do so, we experience a moment of happiness. If we don't, we experience sadness, anger, anxiety. We feel not good enough, or we feel depressed. Same happens with relationships. See, we enter into a relationship with the hope, the expectation that this person is making us feel complete, happy, and whatever else our mind desires. But we are giving our power away. See, because if we enter into a relationship for those reasons, our happiness will always depend on the behavior of our partner. It will always depend on our relationship, on the other person. And this again will give us a feeling of not being good enough, because we need this relationship to make us feel okay. And if the relationship ends, we feel incomplete and unworthy and suffer again. See the snake biting its tail? And this is how the quality of our life starts to depend on the quality of our relationships, right? But what we actually want is total freedom. We don't want that our happiness always depends on someone or something, right? So we have to understand another important fact. Our life happens within us. Our feelings happen within us. Our emotions happen within us, right? And our inner atmosphere does not depend on external circumstances or other people. Forget this. It's wrong. It is our power to choose how we want to respond to life, to change, and to other people. And the way we respond to others and life determines our emotions. And our emotions determine the quality of our life. See, the truth is that nobody can make you feel in a certain way, because your feelings are happening within you, and nobody can jump into you and create a feeling. See, we cannot control what happens in life, and we cannot control others, but we can control how we respond to them. And that creates our emotions, our inner atmosphere. We can decide what meaning we give to other people's behavior, and that in return creates our feelings. See how we respond? This depends on our inner atmosphere. right? It all comes back to us. It is our power to determine what's going on within us. It is our decision on what we want to shine our focus, our awareness. And this determines the quality of our inner atmosphere, how we feel. If our inner state is balanced and joyful, then automatically we take from this source and we respond joyfully to life and others. And if we respond joyfully, balanced, and non-judgmental to others and to life, no matter what others do, it will not leave us with negative emotions. Sorry. See, we decide how others and their behavior makes us feel. So, instead of waiting for the perfect relationship, we can make ourselves perfect first, because our inner state of being, our inner atmosphere, the content of our own mind determines how we perceive life and others, and how we perceive ourselves and our relationship. It all depends on us. See, in easy terms, that means if your body, let's say, is in good shape and full of vitality, or if your energy vibrates on a very high frequency, and if you only focus on the good and your mind is positive, if your spirits are high, you perceive life and others through a positive lens. You create pleasant emotions and harmony in your relationships, right? And if we have created, through our practice of meditating, focusing on the good, bringing our energy up, right? If we have created a pleasant atmosphere in our own instruments, body and mind, we don't need anything. And so we can enter into a relationship without expectations. We enter into a relationship not because the other person serves us in some way, or because we see the other person as our source of happiness, but simply because we enjoy their company and they're walking the same path. We don't feel different than the other person anymore, but see them as a part of us, right? See, I want you to start to observe the content of your own mind. What's going on there? What have you stored in there? What's always coming back? What is your mind telling you about yourself? And be careful, because your mind is not always saying the truth. Most of the time it's lying. Most of the thoughts your mind comes up with are useless. They're not true. You don't have to believe everything your mind says. Just observe the attitude of your mind to get an idea on what program your mind is running. How is your inner atmosphere? Why can't you love yourself and accept yourself and your life as it is totally? What is a void you're trying to fill with a relationship? What are the wounds you expect to heal with a relationship? How much does your inner well-being depend on your relationships? Make an inventory. Sit down. Know your instrument. Once you know it, then you can reprogram it. You can change it. You can master it. So sit down, contemplate, journal. Just look a bit inside with the curiosity of a child and without judgment. And then you sit, you start your practice again with your Kapalabhati breathing. You know? Then you sit down, you close your eyes, you focus on your third eye. Keep your concentration there and just listen. When your mind wanders off, bring it back here. And don't search, don't ask, don't make an effort. Just sit and be and listen. You can imagine, if you want, that you are zooming out of your body and mind and look at your human being from a distance. And this healthy distance between you, the soul, the consciousness that you are, is helping you to look at the stories, the feelings and beliefs that are roaming around in your mind with the necessary detachment. You look at the content of your mind and you can decide which thoughts are beneficial for a good inner atmosphere and which unresolved emotional baggage or limiting beliefs are holding you back from living your relationships and your life joyfully. So sit, do your breathing, because that moves your energy, right? And it brings your energy up. It helps you to detach. Then you zoom out. And then you just observe. What's in your mind, that always creates a negative feeling inside, or that always motivates you to respond in a bad way to someone, or to always get anxious? What's the stuff that's in your mind that does not serve you anymore? I don't want to give you too many instructions, or guide probably all your practice, your meditation practice, because, it's your experience. And if I intervene too much, I learned this from my own experience, right? You have to sit there alone and be there with yourself and just listen. And then things come up, and maybe unpleasant things come up, right? So that it needs courage, right? To go on the spiritual path. It needs courage because you might encounter things that you have pushed away into a drawer a long time ago. Maybe now they're coming up, but this is a good sign. So if something during your practice comes up, and maybe tears are starting to roll down your face, right? And maybe you start to shiver, maybe you feel sick. That is a good sign. That's a sign that something that has been inside of you finally comes up to the surface, and finally you can let it go. So don't be scared, and please, anything that is like strange, or you don't understand, or that makes you worried, or anything that makes you feel insecure, you're not sure, just write me, get back to me, all right? And we'll figure it out. Don't worry, you can't do anything wrong. So enjoy your practice, enjoy your digging around, making your inventory. Keep it fun. Don't be serious, because seriousness is a disease. Keep laughing, keep smiling at life. It's too short to be serious.